Hi everybody. We are at a beautiful local park I haven't been to before here in Virginia. It was just too busy at the park I was going to because it's in the city, and this is about 7 miles outside of the city. This park is more of a hiking park, and being a weekday, there's not a ton of people out here. So I came out here. Actually, the sun came out today for a change, but it is supposed to start raining again at 4 o'clock. Now, I am getting all my batteries out. My 500 is at 66 percent. My 1000 is at about 54%. And I'm an hour early. It is 10:30 instead of, I was going to time it 11:27 on the 3000. But I do want to get these solar panels out. I do want to try them out with this battery. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to turn you around here so you can take a look at where we are at on the draw. So it would be 48 hours. We're short of an hour. So 47 hours of no input into this battery, and it just running my ice cold fridge. And we'll see how it's done. Let me turn you around here for a second. That's my view. Railroad ties. I park over in the corner so that I'm out of the way of all the people's. Okay, here we go. So where we are right now, at 47 hours, the fridge is running right at the moment. It's drawing 49 watts, which it says I would get another 22 hours. If it kept running it at 49, 50 hours, I'd get another 23 hours out of this battery without charging. We're currently at 56%, but it's supposed to rain for 3 days, so I really want to plug this battery in, get it topped off, see how the solar panels interact with the battery, and do a little review of those solar panels. So give me a minute and I will set everything up. I think I will just run the power cord. All your plugins on this 3000 are right here, right? It's my garage. Plugs are right here. And I think I have an extension cord, and I think I will just run it out the side of the door. I've got my bug out screens closed. Just run it out the side of this door right here. Place the panels right out here, and I have solar panel extension cords. So we'll see how we do. All right, these are Jackery's new bifacial. They call them bifacial solar panels. This is 200 watts, and this is 200 watts. There's 400 watts of power that you get with the HomePower 3000. It's called bifacial because behind here is the ability to draw in more sun and more power. That is for reflective surfaces. It's in the shade, pretty strong right now, so I doubt that it's going to pull that much, but it's supposed to be able to use the reflection, right, of the sun on the back side as well as the front side. So we'll see how much power we get. It is like a trifold. It folds up and comes in to make one suitcase, and it's got snaps where you can snap the center part. I am not impressed with the fact that it only has 2 legs, right? So you kind of have this going on. I don't know how I feel about that. It doesn't seem as sturdy. It also has the target where you can see exactly where the sun is, and you want that dot obviously in the center to know that you're pulling maximum sun power for these panels. So I will get it hooked up to the power station and see how much power we pull in. You can see I'm powering up my other my other batteries, with my other panels. Yeah, let's get this finished setting up, and see how much power we can get out of these this 400 watts out of these 200 each watt panels. Also, it's important to note that there are no longer pockets on these panels to carry power cords. So your power cords are going to be separate. And for the solar panels and hanging around somewhere. Alright. I'll try and one-hand this. Oh, there we go. Alright, so it is right here for plugging in your panel. There we go. I believe it goes in that direction. Little curvature right here is pointing up. We're one-handing it, and I am not left-handed. So let's try my dependable right hand. Okay. There. It's secure in there. All right. So again, you're not going to be able to store these in your panel. They're going to be absolutely separate. You have a USB and a USB-A plug right here. So again, that's sort of exposed outside. You're going to, if you need to plug in something, your fans or your phone or whatever, you can plug it in. Not that I haven't ever used it on my panels, but I suppose it's a nice thing to have. So this is as long as your power cord is. My van is over there. So I do have extension cords. I don't know how that may affect power. So we're going to find out when I get this other panel hooked up. All right, I got the extension cords I bought some time ago. They are Jackery products. I'm always thinking in my mind that sometimes you buy off brands, you can run into issues. So I have a tendency to pay a little bit more and get what I'm supposed to buy. So here's the extension cords. They are plugged in to the ports. I am currently, the sun is not strong here today by any means. We've got partly cloudy skies. I am currently pulling in 278, 79, 80 watts. Initially I was at 300 when the sun was out from behind a cloud. I was pulling in 300 watts out of the 200 watts, so 400 watt panels. I'm okay with this. It says it would take me about 7 hours to fully charge these at 200 watts. You can see that 8.3. So when the sun is out from behind the cloud, I'm going to pull a little bit more power. And when it goes behind the cloud, of course, it's going to decrease. So there's my extension cord. I've got it running out the side of the van. And running down here and coming over to the panels, because they put the plug of the panel way over there, which is fine, because if I had to turn the panel this way, right, it'd be closer to the van. So it has to come a long way. You're going to need the extension cords, and you got to use the L part of it to go in. I think it's called the 8070 plug. And then the extension cord comes over here and plugs in to this 200 watt panel. So I've got the 400 watts set up. We know what percentage I was at. We know that it's now 10:54. So we'll see how we do with drawing power today. The 1000 is set up with its two 100-watt panels, so that's 200 watts, and then there's 200 watt, that's a 200 watt Blue Eddy panel. It doesn't pull but like 80 watts. That's all that battery will take anyway. That's the 500, so that's all that battery will accept. This will only accept 134 watts max. That's why I went with this 3000, because it is fast charging. Maybe not on the panels, but if I plug it into a wall, I'm going to be able to charge within about 1.7 hours to 100%. And that's if I'm at probably 0. So this is how we have to do it. Be at a local park. We are urban dwelling in this town I'm in. It's not really a city because it's not real big. It's a town, and like I said, I'm at another park usually, but it's very crowded. Oh, there's a dweller. And so I came out here to get away from town and hopefully and it has bathrooms, right? It's very pretty. So I came out here to have less people, and then I park in a way that I'm not chewing up everybody's parking like that Mercedes over there that's parked across all the parking spaces. But that's okay, there's a lot of parking. So I'm parked in a way that, you know, I'm not going to be blocking anybody. I'm not going to get in their way. There's no walking paths out here. And that can be a challenge when you go to parks, is finding that right spot to push your gear up, to be able to charge up, or whatever you may need to do if you want to spend a little time during the day. While I'm urban dwelling, I'm anywhere between Walmart. There's a couple Cracker Barrels in town. There's a couple Walmarts in town. There's a lot of side street parking where I'm staying. So it's a plethora of places to sleep. So during the day, I just go to the parks. But right now, we have a sunny day. So we are going to try and charge up as much as we can before the rain comes in later today. And yeah, we'll see how we do. A concern I do have with these bifacial solar panels, besides the center not really having any support, is when I close my 200 watt panels and I close the single individual 100 watt, and I close the Blue Eddy, there's a hard case protecting it, right? It folds into itself. But on the back side of this, it having the ability to collect solar, when I fold it up, that's exposed. This is all I got, a little bubble wrap to put the panel in. So I was looking online at, okay, if I have to protect these panels so they don't get scratched up in the van being moved around, how am I going to do that? Well, there are solar panel bags, and you'd have to buy them individually, and not from Jackery. They're independently made, independent companies. But you can pay up to $65 per bag, because you're not going to get both these panels in one bag. And that's really going to be the best way to protect that bifacial, with the solar collectability on the back side of the panel as well as the front. So that's more money that I have to spend, and obviously none of this was cheap. But if I'm going to be able to take care of these panels and not scratch them up, I'm going to have to buy bags. I'll keep them in the bubble wrap for now. But yeah, that's going to be an added expense there for sure. As you can see, we started out at $10.50, and it is now $2.50. It is 63%. We're only pulling 36 watts. All the clouds finally came in. I laid down, took a nap for 3 hours, so I've been out. So it's been warm. The fridge has been running. So it is using a lot of power, or it was using a lot of power. So I believe we started at 66% at 1050, and we are at 63% at 350. Or I'm sorry, 250. So, all right, well, I'm going to go outside and pack up the panels. I have an alternative that I'm going to use. There's a pavilion here and the power is on. So I think we're going to borrow a little power today since it's going to rain for the next 3 days. Okay, I lost you there for a minute. You fell over. Anyway, we are going to put away these panels and I'll show you how they fold up. Like I said, we don't have any way to store the cords but in the plastic. So, you know, I suppose if you have, this is called HomePower 3000. So I suppose if you're using it in your garage and you are using it to secure your home, and you're using it to just do temporary power outages and things like that, it doesn't matter if these power cords, you know, are laying on your shelf next to, next to the panels. But if you are camping or you are living in a van like I am, you gotta find some place to store these. This is very thick, nice thick gauge cord. It's really good quality. I gotta tell you that it is very good quality. So these are things that you're gonna have to think about. You're gonna have 2 bags with 2 power cords. And if I purchase the case, which I probably will, knowing me, I will purchase the case so that I don't scratch up the back side of this panel, which I don't want to do. I don't want to damage the panel. So I'll probably invest in a case, see how that case works out. Then these power cords may fit in that case, and I can show you that then. But in the meantime, it comes with a user manual, right? Hookup manual. Both of them do. In the meantime, they're going to live in this bubble wrap. All right, so we got that one. Let's put away this panel. All right, so this is your bifacial. So these, this side, if where you have your panels are reflective, this side will pick up the sun and also give you more solar. Now, what surfaces will do that? Well, concrete will. Concrete's very bright in the middle of the day, and certainly if the sun is straight up and your panels are pitched a little, you're gonna get a lot of sun bouncing off concrete. So that folds over this way, then it folds this way. So if you look at the back of the panel, here's your bifacial. And it runs down the length of the panel. I think this is very cool. If it's going to work, that's what we'll find out. You know how efficient it is. I didn't have enough sun today. I went to sleep and it was getting cloudier and cloudier and cloudier when I went down for my nap. I have 2 snaps here so that when you fold the panel, like I said, it's like a bifold. So when you fold the panel up, it snaps here and it snaps here. You have Velcro right here to hold the legs, and voila, there you are. It is not as heavy as I expected it to be. It's almost the equivalent of one of those single 100-watt panels, actually. So they made it very light, but you can see why I'm going to want a case. or I'm going to want some way to protect this panel. Again, if it's in a garage, waiting to be, say the battery is hooked up, you've used a little bit, you want to charge it up, you put your panels outside, you know, charge it up outside real quick rather than plug it in a wall, which I don't know why you would do that, but if you're camping and you're carrying these panels around, they're going to get damaged because we are hard on our gear out in the wild. Us feral children, us feral old nomads, we are hard on our gear. So the gear needs to be durable to be able to withstand the lifestyle that we need. And it can get very expensive to have to buy more products to protect the products we already have. And I don't know, I think that seems a little unfair, because if this gets damaged and it ruins the efficiency of the panel by traveling with it, that's on me, but I had no way to protect it. So living in a van or truck camping or car camping, I mean, these panels aren't small. Here is, let me pull. To give you a comparison, here is a 100-watt panel, solar panel. Here's a 100-watt solar panel, and here's the 200-watt solar panel, right? There's not a lot of difference in size. I mean, really, for the amount of power you're getting in one single panel. The thickness, now that is different. That just folds over once, and this is sort of a tri-fold, but again, it folds over really, really nice. Let's see, we'll just put this down real quick. We gotta put the other panel away. That's where we are. I will keep it in the bubble wrap until I buy a panel bag, I guess. I mean, I did have to, it's a good thing I had the extension cords for the panels, so I could run it inside. I have another product I'll show you. So Jackery kind of reminds me a little bit of Apple, right? I don't have an Apple phone. I have a Droid, and Apple's very proprietary. Although you can buy a lot of products on the market that work with Jackery, it feels a little more like a proprietary company. Anyway, I also bought this product here. And this product can tie in 2 panels. So you have 2 different millimeter pins here. One can go in the other. So I think this is called like a, what is this called? This first pin actually has a name to it. Let me see here. It is called an 80-20. I think earlier I called it an 80-70. It's this actually, the inside pin is a 7909. It's called a DC 7909, and it's a smaller pin head. I'm sorry, a little bit larger pin head than this pin head. And this is called a DC 80-20. And it goes inside pin right here. And I can link up outside. I can link up actually three panels. You can see this is also very short, but you would need the extension cords. So, and that's what I have over there, the extension cords, right? I think I've got a 25-foot extension cord for my panels, and that way I can park in the shade and I can have my panels in the sun Today there was such a nice breeze. I didn't park in the shade. I could open up the fans, open up the doors. I've got the bug screens, and a breeze waffled through the through the through the van enough that it was nice and cool. And boy, I slept like a baby. Let me tell you, living in when you're urban dwelling, it's actually kind of stressful because there are people around you all the time, and you're not going anywhere. And so when you get out away from everybody, at least I do, I get very sleepy from all the missed sleep. And then when you don't, when you wake up several times during the night, you again, you're kind of tired the next day. So I did buy this product directly from Jackery. I could use one more because I'm thinking I can run the 200 watts in here, and then I can run the 100 watts, which would give me another 200 watts. There's another place to put that in right there. So I actually have 3 holes, or 3 connections holes. I'm a woman. Don't blame me. I have three connectors there. So I have a way to hook up more panels, and I can buy more than one of these, right? I could have 2 of these, 1 in each hole, and one for each hookup in the 3000, and then hook up 3 sets of panels. And all the panels have to be sort of matching power, by the way. That's what Jackery says in their literatures. All the panels that you hook into this router, I would call it a router, would have to be matching panels, meaning matching panels and wattage. So that's what that looks like. So I did buy this from Jackery in anticipation that I would use it. I didn't use it today, but I can tell you, I can see where I am going to use it. And as we all know, Jackery's products are not cheap. I would say the Jackery products are more like the Cadillac of the power companies. Bluetti is throwing out more power batteries than you can shake a stick at. I mean, like I said, everybody knows I'm not a fan of Bluetti, so I'm not going to rehash that again. They're enough to satisfy customers, and Bluetti's gotten big enough that they can quash pretty much any dissent. And that's all I'll say about that. So let's undo this power. I can feel raindrops, pretty little raindrops. I can't sing, but I'll sing for you just to drive you nuts. All right. Put you over there. Whee! All right, let's get you put away. Brand new panel. There are nothing like brand new solar panels. I do really like these solar panels. I'm disappointed that I had to get them and realize that, oh God, now I've got to spend another $120 buying bags to protect them. Because if you want them to honor your warranty, if you want them to honor the warranty, you're going to need to take care of them. And it's not their problem if they get, it's not Jackery's problem if they get damaged in your van or anything like that. So I think I highly recommend these panels. I'm still on the fence about the 3000 really at this point, because and not because of anything except that I didn't have any sun today to really test it out, but I am going to go over to that pavilion. Since the storm is rolling in, a lot of people have left. I will be able to move that battery to my doorway and of the van and plug it into the pavilion where there's power. I'll be charged up in probably 40 minutes to 100%. It's going to rain. Like I said, it's going to rain for 3 days. I think 3 more days. So I guess they're trying to use the panels. It was a blowout day, but there's always another day, right? Hopefully I'll live to see another day. And I'll get these other panels put away. This is a day in the life of putting away gear and what it looks like. I mean, if I was camping for any length of time, the gear would go out, and if I left camp, I'm going to have to put it away. And I'll tell you, when I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, I would set my gear out away from the truck, so it would be in the sun, away from the van. And there were some people, you know, they didn't notice me immediately because I was sitting out by my van, but I was looking out at the panels and looking out at the gear, and people would walk very close to the gear and sort of look it over, and then they'd look around to see where I was. Kind of looked a couple times, not every time. It looked a little suspicious. They were checking out my proximity. So this isn't something that you're going to want to set out and walk away. I mean, this would be you're not going to go do that. So my thought, the bag's all wet because it's drizzling. So my thought for this is that having 3,000 watts, and of course I still have the 500 and the 1,000, right? So, I mean, if I got into a power crunch, an absolute bottom line, ran out of power in the 3,000, I've still got really 2 other batteries that I don't have. Right now, I don't have high power needs. I don't buy all those little products that eat power. I don't, I'm old fashioned with that. As my band is built out, that will change, obviously. But I still want to be, I didn't go to live a minimal life, a life of minimalism, only to load up on more crap, right? My whole idea was to travel light and stay light. I mean, the first 2 years I lived in a truck cab. That's 20 square feet. And the back seat of my truck, I had a quad cab, is where I had the 23 quart cooler that I kept in a horizontal across the back of the seat against the driver's seat and against the back seat. And then the rest of the gear went in the back. Lily, of course, had the passenger seat. And I did have a rooftop box on top of the cap itself where I kept my tent and things like that gear. And I did have a basket on the back of the truck. So I carried a lot of gear, but I was still very minimal. So when I sold the truck and moved into the van, I got rid of the basket. And I don't miss the basket. I know that if I put a basket on the back of this van, I'm only going to put more stuff on it, right? If I got something, truly to put on the roof, I'm just going to fill it up with more stuff. And so the way I work my life is when I want to buy something or when I need something, I really have a discussion with myself about what I need. Do I really need it? What is its purpose? Does it have more than one purpose? And if I want it, then I almost run a rule that says if something's coming in, something's got to go out. Well, this gear came in and the Blue Eddy went. I actually still have it, but it's stored away. So this gear is coming in, and obviously nothing can go out because this is a pretty necessary. This is my power system. So they're saying the HomePower is good for van life. It could work for car camping, truck camping, and that sort of thing. But I can see where keeping it charged, if you don't live in a sticks and a bricks that you can go to, like I don't. I live out in nature in a van. it could present with a problem for charging, because you're going to have to at some point stay parked for about 8 hours to charge. And I really try hard not to do parks. I am going to Acadia National Park, and I have a place for a week there. But generally, I'm in a public park. When I'm out west, obviously there's just oodles and oodles of boondocking, and that's what I do when I'm out west. But I'm on the East Coast right now because my dad is down in Florida and he's not feeling well. And so I need to stay sort of somewhere in a reasonable distance of I-95 in case I need to jet down the highway. So I'm going to put these panels away. Those are some of my thoughts. I personally am a fan of Jackery, but I can see where I have to give my honest opinion. It's my money that I spent. So if I screw this up for how I want it to work, it's on me. Nobody gave me anything. And I can tell you what I think. And then you can make a decision if you want to try it or not. But we're going to put these away, and we're going to slip over to that pavilion, and we are going to borrow some power. After a while, these little legs, they don't stick anymore. You have to kind of fiddle with them a little bit. All right. All right, here's the Blue Eddy out here powering up the well, there was enough power to power the 1000 to 100%. That makes me happy. This thing actually charges really good on the panels, the two 100-watt panels. So I got to 100% here, and I believe this battery was at 64. So it did power up. Of course, it wasn't running anything. So, but I love this Jackery Explorer 1000, and I did end up putting it in the cab at the front between the seats, and I really like it in that position. I'm going to go get the 500. I don't think it did as well, but that has a lot to do with that Blue Eddy solar panel, which literally the first time I used that Blue Eddy solar panel, the very first time I took it out, and you can see how careful I am with my gear, it broke. The latch that closes it literally broke off. And then the pins that, because it uses the double pins, one of those pins broke. I had to put a new one on. So literally that was the very first time I used it. And I've not had any issues like that from Jackery at all. Just saying. That's what the 500 way. Also, you need to make sure you get all the bugs off of your gear. Maybe that's another positive reason for not having pockets on those panels, because guess what can move into your gear when you put it back in your vehicle? There's a pocket for them to hide. Last night as I was watching TV, like a horror movie, the lights on and my phone is on, and there's Lily hanging out up there, so I don't want to get wet. And a spider literally started coming down right by my face, a big one. And he's got his legs moving as he's descending. I'm going to tell you what, I took that light, I threw it across the van, and like, yeah, no. So there's where I store the panels, right behind the driver's seat. Both the 200 panels and the two 100-watt panels. There's where that Jackery 1000 is going to sit. And this is going to go, 500 is going to go where it goes, which is right here. and then it gets, one-handing things is hard. I'm not, just not that talented. Hang on. All right, much better. So I secure it with a little bungee cord to this crate, which we know is screwed in right here on all four sides. And so it runs right here, and that way, like this fan has been running all afternoon, I can go ahead and plug that fan in to charge it back up. I'm glad this battery's at 89%. Certainly glad that that 1000 is at 100%. And I said earlier that the 3000 was at 66%. I was incorrect. The 3000 was at 57%. So I did gain on a cloudy day from 57% to 62%. And it said if I kept pulling no power, I'd go 99 hours, but that's not going to happen. So we are going to take this battery over to the pavilion. We're going to plug it into their power at this park, and it should be charged up. Well, we'll find out. It should be charged up pretty quick because it is a fast charging battery. So that's what we're going to do right now, because I don't know how bad the weather's going to get. We are expecting some storms. So and let's go around. I'm going to show you the garage where I keep continuing on with the Mini. All right, that's where the Blue Eddy stays. It's the only place it stays, because it is, because of the type of material it's made out of, it is thicker. It cannot fit with the other panels, so it just rides right here, and it's perfectly fine. Here are my power cords. I also discovered that my extension cord is not a thick enough gauge. This is only 16 gauge. I need to go to a 12 gauge extension cord if I'm going to be able to plug in that 3000 using an extension cord. Here are my extension cords for my solar panels. So that rides there. I actually have a hook over here as well, but yeah, that's that thermal barrier I bought too soon. So this is what the back looks like of my rig and my gear. There's the bed. Lily should be up there somewhere. So that's my shower bag right there. So whenever I go to Planet Fitness, I just pull up, walk to the back, grab my bag. It's always packed. I wash my towel, of course, every week. And then I just grab my bag and I go. I don't even have to think about it. And I already put on clean clothes. So when I go into the shower, I've got on clean clothes. I shower up. I put my clean clothes back on. So that's the back of my van. There's my new clam. It's the 6x6. I haven't tried it out yet. I thought I would try it out in this park, but the bugs are bad. It's been raining for days, so the mud's really bad. The ground's very soft, very damp, so the bugs are buggy, and I decided not to do that. I think that's very clean, right? I definitely try to remain minimal. Those baskets with my clothes are only held up by magnets. You see the skies. It's supposed to start raining in any minute. So we are going to finish putting away these bug screens. By the way, I got these at Amazon. They're just door screens. I can't pay $800 for these fancy schmancy little screens you see on the Sprinters and built out Travados. And no, this is $23 on Amazon. I installed them myself. I don't get bugs in my van now. I was using those little screens from that you can get for $5 at IKEA. for my first year, literally in this van, and I went through 2 pairs because things wear out. So, okay, there we go. Let's not get you in the lock. It's not. Alright, so there we go. Slam these doors firmly because I have had to replace the seals on these doors just because it's a ProMaster. The doors leak sometimes, so I had to have the doors resealed. So anyway, there's nothing hanging on the back of my van, nothing on the roof of the van. I do want to get solar power. I have finally decided on solar panels. And I did clean before I took a nap today. So there we are. Let's pull down the curtains and get presentable. We got to wait for still a few more people. We need to take out the garbage. Take a few more people to leave. Once it rains, they should probably leave. And then we can go over there and top off that 3,000. Hey, Lily, you want to say bye for a minute? You want to say bye? No? Not now? Okay. We just went through a downpour. Funny, I had left the fans open and the door open. Had gone over to the restroom, came back out, and it was in the middle of a downpour. So, got a little wet in there. Anyway, I brought the 3,000 out, and I have plugged it into the pavilion here, and you can see that it is drawing 1677 watts, 61%. It is presently 446. So this shouldn't take very long to top off at 100%. I'll tell you what, carrying it from the van to over here was, 60 pounds is heavy. It's basically half my weight. But we'll see how we do. Okay, 5:39. I pulled the Jackery, unplugged the 3000, HomePower 3000 from the pavilion, and brought it back into the van. It's at 99%. The fridge came on. I had the 1,000 watt filling in for the 3000 while it was in the pavilion powering. And so right now the fridge is just sort of regulating itself. So that's where we are. That's how long it took to go from 66% to 99%. Yeah, that's how long it took. And which was at 446 to 539. Not bad. So, but basically 45 minutes to charge to 100%. So I can be happy with that. Thank you for watching on the end of this beautiful, turned out to be a very rainy day at the end of the day. And Lily, she's been inside most all day. Hey, Lily, you can give me a high five? You can give me a high five? Or are we not doing high five again today? Okay, well, tell everybody thank you for watching. Please like. Please subscribe. Please make some comments. Tell me what you think. Have a good day, and thank you for watching.